Hey guys, just done. Thought I would spend a few minutes talking to you about the normal progression that every single business goes through. Believe it or not, whether you are, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years down the line, there is a similarity. There is a repeat pattern that happens time and time again. So let me spell it out for you. Okay, so we have day one in business. Very exciting day. I'm sure we all remember this date very, very well. So across the bottom of the screen, this axis is time. Starting at day one, and it's going to show as time goes on. Now, what you'll know in business is you go through a shit ton of different emotions. You'll go through every emotion pretty much that you have ever felt during the roller coaster that is being an entrepreneur. So you'll go from, let's say, excited. You'll be at some stages frantic. You will, go through good times. The range of emotions are absolutely massive, including not such happy emotions, like frustration and stress and all that kind of stuff. So let's put that there. Frustration, stress. Have we missed anything, would you say? I guess actually, yeah, we have. Payback. That's the time we go through. We get excited, we get frantic, we start to get payback, we start to enjoy the good times, then we go into frustration, then stress, and then we get to the stage of disillusionment. And you know what? This is absolutely normal. Every single business does that. So as we get started in business, we kind of do a pattern a little bit like that. I'm sure you guys will have experienced that on many, many occasions yourself. Now, what you'll notice about this pattern, you'll come to a stage, let's say, where the frustration is here, and you'll realise to keep going up, you have got an option. As you can see there, we can go down, we can plateau, or we can go up. So decline, plateau, or advanced growth. In fact, I'll write that on because it's very relevant. Decline, plateau, or advanced growth. So when you get to these stages where you literally are as far ahead as you can go and you literally feel like you're bashing your head against a brick wall and you don't know where to go from that point onwards, you hit this kind of lull, you hit this kind of stressy, frustrating, disillusionment time, which I've marked there. And you'll hit this time and time again, but in different things. So I've marked one there, and let's say we have a bit more growth, and then perhaps there's another one there. And this is absolutely normal. And every time we've got three choices. As a business, we plateau. As a business, we can decline. Or as a business, we advance our growth. And it is down to the decisions we take when we hit those times that determines where we go. And let me talk to you, right? These things here at the bottom, they are feelings. Whilst feelings are important, feelings are not commercial drivers. So you have to understand the feelings you are having and appreciate them, whether they are good or bad, because they do tell you things, but they are not the commercial drivers themselves. So when you hit, these kind of frustration stages where you simply don't know how to get either to the plateau or past the plateau into the advanced growth, you need to think about the following 5 things. So in this area, when the shit hits the fan and you just don't know what to do and everybody is getting stressed around you, and this will happen time and time again in business. And here's another one. Every time you hit that and you want advanced growth as opposed to plateauing as a business or even declining as a business, you need to think of these 5 things in those times. And you need to think about how well you are addressing those 5 things. Revisit your product. What are you selling and to who? Well, that answers the second one. Your channels, i.e. to who and how are you doing it? Your resources or strategic resources, because more and more people are partnering or they're using outsourced companies to do things. You need to really understand 2 seconds, I'll turn that fan off. You need to really understand who your resources are, who your strategic resources are, and are you using them correctly? They may have worked once in the past, but they might not be working now. And if they're not working now, you need to look at that and you need to readdress that. You need to understand your management systems. The systems you had in place when you were a new start company with a half a product and a half a dozen potential clients and, you know, double, triple, or even 10,000 plus type of revenue is not the same as the systems, the processes, the resources, the channels, and even the expectation of a product when you get to 100,000, when you get to 1 million, when you get to 10 million, that kind of thing. So incrementally, when you hit these periods, you absolutely have to review these 5 items. And you need to understand your asset drivers. Now, what do I mean by asset drivers? What is it that you are producing that makes people want to work with you? So I'll give you an example. Just this little tip video, this instructional video, is an asset. It's a digital asset. It's a driver to say, you know, Dan probably knows a few things on a business strategic level, and therefore this particular video is one of my asset drivers. So it's really important that you understand what things you have in place that clients are buying into and are using as an asset driver. So if you're an online company, perhaps you just started with a mailing list, an email list, and then perhaps you just used a kind of a web portal. And then as things progressed, perhaps you built out a software app. You know, all of these things are asset drivers. And is that software app actually providing value to the client, or is it just a proper ball ache? Oh, we've developed an app, you need to download it, you'll love it, it's the best thing ever. You know, are they fit for purpose? Every single time you hit this shitstorm, lose the emotion, because that's the one thing we're going to get plenty of. Feelings all the way through. It's important you lose the emotion or recognize the emotion, recognize what is going on, and understanding that there are a lot of emotional factors at play. And at that point, you pull out your playbook, you review your product, you review your sales channels, your routes to market, the people who are selling your stuff, the people who are recommending your stuff, and the people who are buying your stuff. You need to understand your resources. Who is delivering your product? Is it just you? Are you at a stage, is this stage caused by a bottleneck? Or as I used to call it, dealing with some companies, chicken stranglers, where they are actually the bottleneck themselves because they're trying to do everything themselves and they're not scaling, they're not building out a team, they're not building out systems and processes below them and people that can deliver things that they perhaps once delivered. Who are your resources doing that? What do your management systems look like? You know, do you have a problem because you've scaled up so much that you're now starting to trip over, that you're doing things too quick, that your quality is now getting lower and lower, customers are getting pissed off, you know, that kind of thing. It's really important that you recognize that what you could do with 1 or 2 customers on a very personal level is not going to be sustainable with 100 customers or 500 customers. And of course, your asset drivers. You know, do they have things like digital downloads? Are they fit for purpose? Do they have things like, you know, logons, software applications, how-to videos, you know, simple video guides, whatever it is that's relevant to your product? It could be free giveaways. It literally could be anything. but it has to be fit for your product, for your company, for your purpose at the time you need it. This is a startup, and to become, the big player at the end, if you like, there is no end, but what you'll find is all companies will go through this. Facebook will get to a point of critical mass where people go, okay, now they're just harvesting our data, but we're not getting lots of value back. So then they have to change things up. They'll go and buy, whatever they've bought. Is it Snapchat and Instagram and WhatsApp and all this kind of stuff? And now you can add value by delivering content across multiple platforms and accessing different types of data streams and sharing things in a much better way. Any company needs to up their game. If it's technology, mobile phones, the iPhone 3 will get them a lot of sales, but they will plateau and then they will decline until they bring in advanced functionality, improved software, better cameras, better resolution, better connectivity with different devices, improved speed, improved memory, stuff like that. So I hope that little short instruction video of how you sail through the emotions of business and what you do when you hit the proverbial shitstorm, what should be your go-to reference at that point would be these 5 things: product, channel, resources, management systems, and your asset drivers. Please follow me on Instagram at Dan England, and if you've got any questions, any problems, any queries, or you would like any explainer videos, just give me a shout. Now, there's one little thing that I actually forgot to mention, which is actually the most critical thing at each point. Bearing in mind, when you are reviewing your systems and processes, when you hit the proverbial shitstorm, even though you are reviewing your key drivers, your 5 key drivers to innovate, you don't necessarily know what to do next. It's very important that you scratch below the surface and identify those problems. But these blue areas here not only identify shitstorms, but they identify areas that as a company you need to learn, you need to grow, you need to onboard next level resources that are going to take you that bit higher, that are going to improve your skill base, that are going to improve your reach, your network, your partnerships, all of that scary stuff. It's that time where you've got to take that step outside your comfort zone and go again. So hope that helped. Speak soon.